Never explain yourself. Your real friends don't need it, and your enemies won't believe it.
This is Nagorno-Karabakh's deadly new war, filmed by news site hedka.am on the Armenian front lines.
These visuals are not from Diwali. These are rockets being fired during the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine.
Hello guys, and welcome back you all to a new video from InfoZone Lecturette. Hoping that you guys are doing great. Sorry for the delay. Well, today actually we started with an irony. Started with a positive note, but on the very next hand showed you the videos of conflicts or the ongoing conflicts. Never mind. Hoping that you guys are familiar with those pictures. Never mind. These pictures, the first one, belong to the Armenia and Azerbaijan conflict, and the second one is from the Israel-Palestine conflict. In this section, we are going to talk about certain things related to them. Also, we'll try to answer out certain questions. So, without wasting any more time, let's get started and let's deep dive into this video, which is going to talk about the reforms in United Nations Security Council. Up in the section ahead, we are going to put some light on these questions, like, do we really need the reform at UNSC? Can the present model of UNSC counter the global challenges? Is UNSC representing the whole world? Or at present, is UNSC having the complete division of power? And also, do the officers appointed at UNSC or at the UN follow the system of complete neutrality? So let's move ahead and get the answers of these questions, triggering our mind. Earlier in the series, I gave you brief information about the United Nations and its principal organs. And today, continuing the same, we are going to talk about the reforms in the United Nations Security Council. The United Nations Security Council has a primary responsibility of maintaining international peace and security throughout the region. I told you all, the UNSC consists of 15 members, out of which 5 are permanent, and they are Russia, China, United States, Britain, and France. Also, along with those, 10 non-permanent members that are elected for a term of 2 years. These 10 non-permanent members are chosen to achieve equitable representation throughout the world. Now, while talking about the dispute settlement mechanism, UNSC follows a very common way of solving it. Also, if any country, if not a member of United Nations, can bring a dispute in the attention of United Nations Security Council, UNSC first explores method of peace and negotiation, and if UNSC finds a breach of peace or an act of aggression, it may call upon the United Nations members to apply diplomatic or economic sanctions over the offended nation. Also, if these methods prove inadequate, UNSC can also take military action against the offended nation. In the current scenario, the power shifting. Geopolitics is changing, and so is the world, but not the United Nations Security Council. It is continuing the outdated version even without an antivirus. The current scenario is embracing democracy, and in this progressive world, the outdated version of UNSC is regressive. The present form of UNSC is undemocratic. The complete power solely relies with the P5s, and the veto power is a major concern. Just seconds back, I explained you that the current form of UNSC is undemocratic. Now, why I'm saying this? Because there is no single country from the southern hemisphere of the world representing in the United Nations. There is also lack of multiculturalism, and at present, UNSC is failing to resolve the global challenges. Most of the members of General Assembly support the reconstruction of Security Council, but the P5s having rivalry among them, are objecting to this. And leaving all the important decisions of the whole world is very, very risky. Also, the G4 member nations, that are India, Brazil, Germany, and Japan, are supporting each other for the permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council, and also are gaining support from the countries like UK, US, France, and Russia. To tell you all, in the 69th session of United Nations General Assembly 2015, UNGA adopted the resolution of UNSC, but countries like Russia, China, and US denied any major change in the United Nations Security Council. Being Indian, our prominence is to talk about India first. Talking about the reforms in United Nations Security Council will pave the way for India to attain permanent membership in the Security Council. It can benefit India in the following ways. India will get the veto power and will have a greater say at the international level. Also, India's inclusion will make UNSC more democratic, and in fact, the world's largest democracy and the oldest democracy will work together for the sake of common people. Also, India will surely protect the interests of smaller nations, and therefore the relations are certain to improve, and we are likely to gain more support at the international level. India, while in being a member of United Nations, has been a part of many peacekeeping missions. Currently, India has been elected for the 8th time to the UNSC non-permanent membership. The Indian behavior at UNSC points out to a systematic effort to display constructive, rule of law abiding, and a democratic majority building state in a global, multilateral setting like the Security Council. I hope you guys must have gone fast through the recent news. The news covered by Hindustan Times says, "Great disservice to your office. India stings UNGA president for his Kashmir remark." Now in a nutshell, I'll explain what was the conflict about. The present UNGA president and Turkish diplomat Volkan Boxer, while on a visit to Pakistan and in a conference with Pakistan Foreign Minister Mahmood Shah Qureshi in Islamabad, when questioned upon JNK, said about that both the parties must avoid changing the status quo. And also he said that, "I think this is the duty of Pakistan to bring the Kashmir issue more strongly to the United Nations." He also said that Palestine has more political wind, whereas Kashmir issue doesn't. India, strongly objecting to this, said that the remarks by the UNGA president are misleading and are prejudiced. Also, India said that great disservice to the office he occupies. His behavior is truly regrettable and surely diminishes his standing at the global platform. Also, you must have gone through the recent news about the new president-elect, that is Abdullah Shahid, the foreign minister of Maldives, is going to be the new UNGA president. See, the UNGA president and the UN Secretary General. These two are two different things. The present UNGA Secretary General is Antonio Guterres, while the present UNGA president is Volkan Bosker. And the new president-elect, who is Abdullah Shahid, is going to start his term from September 2021. The next latest development is about an Indian origin, and that is about Arora Akansha, who has presented his candidacy to be the next UN Secretary General. And on the very next hand, Antonio Guterres has presented his will to serve UN at his second term. Earlier in the video, we had these questions in front of us, and let us answer the same. Do we need a reform at UNSC? Let us answer this question at the last. Now talking about, can the present model of UNSC counter the global challenges? According to me, I don't think so. The video I showed you of Armenia-Azerbaijan war, followed by the Israel-Palestine conflict, and over the past various years, the proxy wars going on between various nations, the Chinese aggression in the South China Sea dispute, and many other reasons could be the answer to this question, and probably no, according to me. Now moving ahead and talking about, is UNSC representing the whole world? Probably the answer could be no. Because there is not even a single country even from southern hemisphere representing at UNSC or at the UN. And talking about the complete division of power, we know that the complete power solely relies with the P5s. They have the veto power which they can use on any matter owing to the subject of their respective strategic interests. Also, only the UNGA, that is United Nations General Assembly, has the power to override the rules or decisions made by the UNSC, and that too requires the two-thirds majority of UNGA members to support their decision. Now moving ahead and talking about that, do the officers at UNSC or the UN follow the system of complete neutrality? The words which we earlier discussed by the UNGA president Volkan Bozkır completely hamper this system of complete neutrality. According to me, the answer could be partially yes and partially no. So, what's your opinion on this? Please do comment. Now coming to the very first question, and that is, do we really need the reform at UNSC or the United Nations? The answer could be probably and very probably be yes. To counter the proxy challenges or the wars or aggressions going on in the world, to counter the geopolitics and to cope up with the evolving challenges, the reform at UNSC is a need of hour. It is must and it must be applied. So friends, that was all from my side. Hoping that you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to hit that like button and do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Also, if you have any doubt, please do comment it down below. Also, please do comment down that do we really need reforms at United Nations Security Council or the United Nations? Do you guys support India having a permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council? So with that note, I take it off from you all guys. See you in the next video. Till then, stay safe and stay happy. So with that note, thank you and have a wonderful day ahead.